Wouldn't it be great if you could just throw a photo and title up for your Kickstarter and the right people would find it? Unfortunately, as you probably know, that's not exactly how it works. Your campaign page has to do a little more work to take somebody who might view it and turn them into a backer. Our director of games at LaunchBoom, Victor Shiu, put on a presentation at our crowdfunded summit called Creating a Campaign Page That Converts. And even if you missed it live, don't worry, I'm gonna walk you through it so you can hear all of his tips and apply them to your campaign. Plus, if you stick around to the end, I'll even give you a free audio copy of our book Crowdfunded that goes over more tips like these on how to have a successful crowdfunding launch. Plus our proven strategy on how you even get those backers to begin with. Let's dive in. First, let's meet Victor. He's one of LaunchBoom's co-founders, director of games, and he's actually working on bringing his own game to life, Hover. In his time at LaunchBoom, he's helped creators raise over $150 million through crowdfunding. Victor has an eye for detail in the creative world, and he does an excellent job on teaching us how structure and small intentional elements can go a long way. He starts off by talking about the 3 most important steps to convert backers.
Winning 3-step strategy to convert backers. Step 1, understand your backers. Step 2, show you have what they want. And step 3, prove you can deliver it. All right, cool. We're done with the presentation. Time to take on questions. Presentation's done, and just kidding.
Okay, Victor, very funny. Maybe he's not our resident comedian, but he is an expert on those 3 steps. So let's check back in with him to hear even more about understanding your backer.
So first step, understand your backers. So when I say this, I mean gather data. The first step here is to gather data. You can do this through paid ads, through your landing page test, through organic response, email responses, comments on social media, and if you're running our VIP funnel or reservation funnel, you could do it through VIP surveys as well. And the whole idea here is to answer a few questions and get an understanding of who your backer is. First is who is interested in your product. So who are these people, and what are they interested in? Why are they interested in your product? What aspects of your product are they most interested in? And then what are their concerns and objections about your product? If you can understand these questions, you will essentially have everything you need to, you will have a foundation for all your marketing copy, all your marketing assets, and essentially your campaign page as well. And so here's an example we pulled from Author Clock, who just actually recently launched another product called the Author Forecast or something, did well as well. Okay, but when we dived into their data, when we started running ads, a lot of the data we got came from ads. We found out who the who was. First, it was, well, the first people that we suspected, which were bookworms. So we targeted people that liked literature, different forms of literature, and we found that that audience worked really well. They responded really well. But there are 2 other audiences that we did not expect, that weren't initially in our hypothesis of who would do well, but we tested them anyways. First one was tabletop gamers. So we found that people that play D&D, people that were into TTRPGs, and even board gamers were really into the Author Clock. I think it's something about diving into another world, immersing themselves there, or just having inspiration sitting there as a clock was really appealing. Next, newspaper readers. So we decided, hey, how do we expand out bookworms? Let's try newspapers. So we targeted New York Times. We even tried New York Times crosswords and stuff like that, and that did really well as well. Next, we had to figure out, okay, we know who these people are. Now, why do they like the product? Why do they like Author Clock? What about it really pulled their attention? And from what we did here, we could pull from ads and we could see, okay, cool. The copy about it being innovative, was really good. We received comments that people really just loved the idea of it, that it was a cool thing for their home. And then what specific features about the Author Clock did they resonate with? So then from those ads and from landing page testing, we found that, okay, cool, quote every minute. People were asking, it's like, was there actually a quote every minute? This was, and then when we put that section right on top of the landing page, that landing page converted better. The ability to add your own quotes was something that we constantly saw people asking about. VIPs were asking about that. And then the size of a clock was a constant FAQ as well. And then last, concerns. We had one continual pressing concern. Every single ad we ran, people will comment, there's no way that this actually has a quote for every single minute of the day. What about this? So what about 1:32 a.m.? There's no way you could do that. So this was a major concern that people had that prevented them from actually wanting to put down their reservation, from really committing to a purchase. And so we needed to address this concern. We knew we needed to do this on a landing page, and when we did, it did really well. And so we knew that we had to also address it on the campaign page. So this is what their campaign page ended up looking like, this first section of their story when you scroll down. First, we go and we have the section, a novel way to tell time. We knew that innovation was top priority. That was the big why. That was their why. This was a novel way to tell time. Nice pun there too. And then we identified the who right away, calling all bookworms and storytellers. We have our first super fan base, bookworms, and then we have our second one, storytellers. TTRPG GMs, storytellers. Like gamers, storytellers, essentially. So this really called to them. And then after that, we went into the what's. Okay, cool. What are the main features? The first one, a new quote every minute. Then we address a concern right off the bat. Okay, here's a few quotes. Like this one's generic at 11 a.m. But then we cycle through several times, like 1:17 a.m. Here's a quote literally for 1:17 a.m. to address some of these concerns that they had about, hey, does I have a quote for every single minute? Then we talked about, hey, you can add your own quotes there. We knew that was a key feature that people liked. Then we dived into the fact that there were different sizes and they will look really good on your wall or on your desk. Okay, now here's another example for a board game called Kelp. Raised a lot of money. Now is, I think, winning awards for being best game of the year or something like that. I'm not sure. But this is the superfan. This is like the breakdown of their backers as we understood it from a lot of our testing. So when they tested out their audiences, we knew that. So we tested out aquarium enthusiasts, nature enthusiasts, and board gamers, and these are the people that resonated really well. Now, when it came down to the top tier one, it actually was aquarium enthusiasts. So we knew that, yes, this is a board game, so of course we're going to target board gamers, but it also has a nature theme. It has a aquatic theme, like shark versus octopus. So we knew that this was something that we should test out, see if it resonates, and yes, these are who our backers are. They're people that love aquariums, people that love nature, or people that like board games. Now, what appealed to them? Shark versus octopus. This is like right after My Octopus Teacher came out, so then it was really well timed. They also really commented on beautiful art piece, like the art and the different components and the pieces, the little shark miniature. People love that. And then the strategic gameplay was also up there, just knowing that this was a good game. And then what are the features? The asymmetrical gameplay tested really well, gorgeous components, shark miniature, showing that worked really well in ads. Now, concerns that we got, was it a good game? Is it easy to learn? How much waiting is there between turns? These are things that were both asked, but then also things that we kind of discerned when we were testing. Just seeing, okay, if we had a review that talked about how good the game was a little bit earlier, or we tested it out with ads, did it perform well? And if it did, okay, maybe we need to lean a little bit more in, at least show that on the campaign page. So when it came down to the campaign page, what did we start off with first? We started with the why. So dive into the world of Kelp. This showed an underwater world, showing the shark miniatures, a little bit of the what, and the beautiful art over here. And you can also tell just from the get-go that this is aquatically themed, so that would appeal to the aquarium enthusiast, the octopus would appeal to the nature enthusiast, and the board will appeal to the board game enthusiast. Then we go into the key features here. It's deeply asymmetrical, it's high player interaction, it's got quick turns, so not a lot of waiting in between. Then after that, diving deeper into the art and into the gameplay a little bit, so you get an understanding of that. It's asymmetrical, meaning that each side is different. Like the shark plays differently from the octopus, completely different, like almost games. And then we go into reviews because we knew that was a core objection. So we had some reviews from influencers and from playtesters, just talking about, okay, is this actually a good game? And yes, this person said it's one of the best two-player games they've ever played. And on top of that, pairing it with some of the what, with like the shark miniature here, because we knew that did well. All right, and then we go into the what's included. Again, re-emphasizing the what, the art, the miniatures, the components.
So now that we understand who our backer is and what they might want, it's time for us to show them that we have what they're looking for. But how exactly do we do that? Let's ask Victor.
All right, so now that we've identified the backer, we understand them, and we're able to even translate that into the page. Let's talk about the details of what you actually need to do on the page. This is step 2, show them the value. So the key thing that we need to do here is to start with their why, not yours. I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek. He's like, start with your why. But when it comes down to marketing, when it comes down to the positioning, the structure of your page, you actually want to start with their why. Why do they want your product? And you want to put that on top. Don't start with your story. Don't start with why you created this, all that stuff. That stuff goes on the bottom. It's important. It'll go on the bottom. I'll go into that a little later. But right now, you need to sell your product. You need to speak to your backers directly. And again, communicate your value, the value of your product to them. Why do they want your product? And this is done primarily in your project image, your title, and your description, and also in the first section of your story and body. Make sure that in these two sections, you can answer one of these questions. Why would your backers want this? And what's the number one value of your product? I need to get that almost immediately. If you can communicate that upon landing on the page, you've got a winner. If you don't answer that, you just have the name of your product as your project headline, that's not a good headline because it doesn't tell me anything about it doesn't give me that why. It doesn't give me why I should actually click this link, why I should even continue considering this product. All right, and big thing here is you don't want to just assume it, you need to test it. Here's why. So here are two projects that we've launched in the past. It's been a while. Vava over here and AWOL. Now these are both short throw laser projectors. They're almost identical. They are almost exactly the same product, but you'll notice that there are two very different messaging. In Vava, we have 4K ultra short throw projector. We focus on the fact that it's 150-inch cinema display. We focus on the fact that it's short throw. But in AWOL, we focus on the fact that it's bright and it's just really bright. It's got good color depth as well. Now, why are these two different when they're almost the exact same product? The answer comes into testing. When Vava first came out, we tested out, okay, when we ran Vava, we tested out, okay, cool. Short throw, what does that mean? You could put the projector right next to the wall and it'll give you 150 inches. That's a huge display. And when Vava first came out, they were first to market with this. It was one of the first short throw projectors that can have a display that large, and no one else could compete. So that did really well in ads. Fast forward a few years, you can see the difference of these. Fast forward a few years and Vava is big. Like they're selling this like crazy. AWOL comes into a market and they're like, hey, we want to compete with Vava. And they can't just throw the same copy. We tried it and honestly, it sort of worked because not everyone knew about Vava at that time, but they needed something that differentiated them. So when we tested out, okay, we're focusing in on brightest, we're focusing in on color and brightness, that differentiated themselves from Vava and allowed them to kind of stand out and have a successful campaign. Now that not just applied to the project image, but also applied to our to the opening sections of their campaign. So you can see that Vava focused on ultra short throw, ultra large screen, whereas AWOL focused on color and brightness. Now the next step here, after you've gotten the first section up and the project side and the first sections up, is to talk about your headers. The whole idea here is that you want to use clear and simple headers. People skim pages, they don't read it. You want to have one idea per section and you want to make it ultra clear what each section is. Because if you don't, people won't understand it. You need to keep it simple. You don't need to make this fancy. You need to make sure that everything is legible and easy to skim. If you don't, they will not get the idea. So here are examples of simple, clear headlines. So you have this very easy to read timeless silhouette for timeless wear, very clear. Like I can skim this, understand what it is. It's a jacket. So the product's a jacket. And when you see this headline, okay, cool. It looks good. It's got a good silhouette and I can wear it for a long time. It's got timeless wear. Over here for the nanofoamer, as easy as 1, 2, 3. So it's easy to use. I get it right away. And then this text isn't even a design text. I think this is the native font on Kickstarter. So this did really well and you could just skim it, you understand it, it's clear, it's easy to understand, and I get the main key feature you're trying to communicate to me in this section. Now what you don't want to do is something like this. This feature is the most revolutionary, innovative, groundbreaking solution in the market. Cool. That tells me nothing about your product as a piece of copy. On top of that, if you look at the design, you've got like 5 different fonts. Some of the colors you can barely read because it's not contrasting against the white background. There's a lot of issues wrong. There's a lot of things wrong about this particular copy and this particular design. And it's not easy to read, it's not clear. So don't do this. Here are some examples. So again, you can use Kickstarter's native font or Indiegogo's native font as easy as 1, 2, 3 here. Here's some more examples here where you can design it a little bit more. And again, the copy matters as well. Just make it very clear. Okay, it's 100% natural and 100 years of adventure. Natural materials last a long time. As easy as 1, 2, 3, it's easy to use. Botany just said key features, which has, well, we won't talk about that, but in essence, if you have a design feature, so Botany used this, they have a very thematic game, so they want to incorporate that theme, and that's okay. You can incorporate the theme, but just make sure that the words themselves are easy to read and easy to skim. Next step here, next thing, show, don't just tell. I had a saying for our designers when we were doing all these campaign page designs. It was, if you didn't show it, you didn't say it. Each section and major feature needs to be visualized. You need to be able to understand the entire section with just images, graphs, graphics, or GIFs. Again, people are skimming, they're not reading. And when they start reading, they're already halfway to 80% bought in. So you need to capture their attention with good headlines that are easy to skim, and you need to maintain their attention with really strong images and be able to communicate your value honestly with just images alone. So here's an example. If we're talking about like a hotel that's has good mountain views and dark starry nights, what better way to reinforce that by showing starry nights, great views. If you have a game with great artwork, instead of just saying that you have great artwork, why don't you just show your artwork as well? If you didn't show it, you didn't say it. Now, if I saw this section and just a beautiful Victorian artwork, didn't show me any images, I'm like, cool. I don't believe you. You haven't shown me anything, or I might even just miss the section altogether because I didn't see anything. If your product promises to make amazing latte art to get the perfect texture of milk, show it. And then in this situation, they're promising that it's 100% natural and it lasts a long time. It's perfect for adventure. This image doesn't necessarily show it, but it does show two well-known adventurers, at least to the target demographic, Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, who were the first people to ascend Mount Everest. So you see this, and they're basically making a claim like, hey, we're using the same materials in the gear that they were using. And so it's a little bit of reading there, but then just looking at these guys, it's like, those guys look like adventurers. They look badass. It looks like it was done a long time ago, so I know that this is a trusted and tried and true piece of material. There's no fanciness to it, but it just works. And so that's another way to kind of use visuals kind of in an analogous sort of way to communicate the benefit or the feature of your product. Again, you can also use GIFs. So if you have, say, a shower head like tandem shower here, and you have concerns about the pressure, cool, show them the pressure. Note that you need to do this both on a campaign page and a campaign video. You can't just rely on the campaign video to do all this for you, because there are a lot of people that just don't watch the video. So make sure that you put these GIFs on your actual campaign page and show them within these sections so people understand what you're trying to communicate. So like this whole idea, you can get both back and front so there's no cold spots. You can show the actual pressure here and just use clips from your video that you created, incorporate them into your page. Next, make sure to keep it all organized. Doesn't matter if you have all the visuals, all the greatest headers that are super clear to understand. If it's not organized, it's going to be confusing and you're going to lose people. Make sure that the pages are easy to skim. Organization is part of that. You don't want to overwhelm the backer. You want to make sure you stay consistent with styles and themes. That includes font choices, that includes colors. And the last thing here to really make sure that you do is maintain visual hierarchy. That means that you're able to direct the backer's eyes from value to value, and there's an order in which they do. There's no conflict of, do I look at this or do I look at this? Now here's going to be a breakdown on visual hierarchy. When you're scrolling through a page, imagine this section in a page, and you're scrolling down the page. What's the first section that you look at? It's likely going to be here because that's the first thing you see, but not only is it the first thing you see, it is the largest thing there. It's large, it's got high contrast because it's next to a white background. So you're going to read this first. Okay, cool. There's one for your wall, one for your desk. You get that idea very quickly within a split second. Then after that, you're going to go over here because in the Western realm, we read from top to down, left to right. So we're going to go down and start at the left. Cool, I got the name. There's a large version over here. Now from here, there's nothing over on the left side, so I'm going to go down, but there's this big block poster over here. And so what that does is then pushes me over to this side to look at the author clock. Now, if this wasn't there and it was just blank, my eyes would just go straight down to nothing, to the desk here. Let me go back. It'll go straight down to nothing over here. And that's like would not allow me to see the author clock. So then putting this render of a poster here does help with that and lets me frame the author clock here, because if I go here, okay, cool. Maybe I miss it because it's so easy to miss this product, and I go down, oh wait, there's something blocking me here. My eyes go bounce back here and it frames it within the frame, allowing me to focus this. Then from me focusing on the product, seeing how it lives in the space of the office, my eyes then zoom out and I'm ready to keep going. Now this happens in a split second. It's really fast, but if you have good visual hierarchy, you can communicate all of this information extremely quickly, and that's the power of it. The main thing here is if you want to communicate value effectively, you need to have good organization.
Okay, we know who our backer is, what they might want. We've shown them that we have it, but now we need to show them that they can count on us to deliver, that our campaign is a reality, and they can count on us to fulfill that need. Let's see what Victor has to say about crushing this part of the process.
You've understood your backer. You've shown that you have the value that they want. Now you need to prove that you can actually deliver that value. I want you to put yourself in the shoes of your backers. If you're asking your backers, you're asking your backers to give you money up front for the promise of a product. This is crowdfunding. You don't have it yet. Why should they trust you? They need to believe that you can, 1, deliver the product, and then 2, fulfill on all of the claims that you have about it. So in other words, you need to earn their trust. Now, nothing works better than an undeniable clip. If you want to earn trust, nothing works better than this. What is an undeniable clip? This is an undeniable clip. If you claim to be the best mittens ever, the toughest mittens ever, what better way to show this than to put your mittens next to your competitor mittens, watch the other ones burn while you stay afloat. Another way to approach this is just show them your progress here. If people are saying, hey, this doesn't look like it's real, it doesn't look like you're actually going to make this thing, cool, show them the progress. They're like, hey, I'm going to address your concern right up. There's some pictures of the hotel that I'm building right now. This is like the initial stuff. That's what we're actually funding for. So this is actually going to be real. Another way to do this is to have an uncut workflow. So have an uncut video, no cuts in the video, one continuous take, showing your product working from start to finish. This is what Nanofoamer did. They went like, this is what it is. They had it work, put in the milk, waited, and then after that went ahead and made, you know, some really good latte art with that. Did it with both normal milk and with oat milk, uncut. Testimonials and reviews work well too. So if you can't do undeniable clips, highly recommend. If you can't do that, you can always lean onto your testimonials and reviews, or do both. You could get your product out on the street, just get random people to try it out, give you some reviews. This is with Bonk Bike, so then we got some quotes from these people, get them to take a picture of them on it so people can see that you have a real physical prototype. If you can, get some quotes there, get their first name and their last initial, that's all you really need. If you can take it a step further, get some influencers in, especially influencers within the realm of your market. So then they have authority within your market. So this is what the pepper cannon, we got Cleve sent the pepper cannon to J. Kenji Lopez and to Binging with Babish and Rhea to have them try it out just to see if they liked it. And they loved it. In fact, they love it so much they still use it right now. But they had these quotes to say about it. And the benefit of this is that, cool, you got some authority figures in the food space to show that, hey, this is worthwhile. It is worthwhile for you to buy a $200 pepper grinder, because these guys, they absolutely love it. And we trust these guys because they cook a lot and they're really good at it. So that's going to be great. Biggest thing here is that you can't just get any influencer. You need to get an influencer within your space to have domain authority. All right, next you can go and get PR. So get some publications to write about it. Right here, you're not really leaning on an individual, but you're leaning with the brand that they are associated with. And then next, you can also do like video testimonials. So you don't need to have like the influencers have a huge following. The big thing here is that you're showing that you have a third party reviewing your product. So with AWOL, they sent their product to some third party YouTubers here. These people looks like they like it, at least in this thumbnail. Looks amazing. Got some good quotes here, single quotes. Put on your page. embed the video. Most people aren't even going to watch the video. And the whole idea is these guys don't need to have a following. The whole idea of this is not to drive traffic, but to convert traffic by showing that you have authority, that there is a third-party source saying that this is a good product. And that will help, again, build trust with, can you deliver the value? Do you have a product? Can you deliver it? And can you deliver the value, the value that you promised me? And these guys are like, yes, they have both. And then last, if you can't send a product out because you have a limited prototype, you can bring people in. So LaunchBoom over here went and invited their favorite coffee roasters to come in and try out their machine and give them their reviews. This is almost like a blend of the uncut workflow with a little bit of that testimonial review. So this is also a really good option. All right, now last, say you don't have a prototype, say you're a little bit limited on that, it's hard to get reviews, or maybe you just want to maximize the amount of trust you build on your page. The last thing you could do is get authentic and tell your story. Now there are 3 ways to do this. The first is to talk about your past successful campaigns and launches if you have it. The second one is get authority from your occupation. And the last thing is about your personal journey in creating the product. We'll go over all 3. So past success and accomplishments. I'm gonna check my time. Okay, looks like we're doing okay on time. Past success and accomplishments. This whole thing is to prove that you successfully delivered in past. So therefore you can now deliver this product, this new launch now. So again, we're covering 2 things. Can you deliver, and can you deliver on the promises that you made? And in this situation, you're saying that, hey, we delivered in the past, so we can deliver now. Here are examples. So if you have a past Kickstarter, for example, you can go and talk about it now, talk about it to develop that trust, talk about the story of your first Kickstarter, how successful it is now, and then also the fact that you delivered and are actively selling it now. Or if you have an active company right now, if you're already running e-commerce or running some sort of adjacent company where you are actively delivering products, where you have a customer base, where you have customer reviews, you can talk about that. So in this situation, Mirror Hotels, never done a crowdfunding campaign before, but has been running Asheville Glamping for many years already, has been doing a lot of glamping projects, so they know the hospitality game, they own the land, and they've delivered on this. And so they can lean into that authority. It doesn't need to be crowdfunding alone. It could just be the fact that you have a successful company, you've been successfully delivering, you're just looking to scale, you're looking to do a new product launch, whatever this is. The next one is occupational authority. This is all about proving that you know what you're doing, so that your claims have more clout. This is about, hey, I work as this, like I do this for a living, so therefore I kind of have more authority than the normal average Joe. So in this example, if you have this is awesome. But like for instance, Steve made the neck hammock. Steve is a physical therapist. He deals with neck pain, that specializes in neck pain. So he deals with this all the time. He made this product specifically to take care of neck pain for his clients. And so because he has that occupational authority as a physical therapist specialized in neck pain, you can trust him a little more to know that this product will probably work, and it can deliver on that promise because he has this authority, this occupational authority. Now, it doesn't have to be directly related to what your product delivers on. It could be a different type of occupational authority. So with LaunchBoom, they had a whole section about how they are Apple product design veterans. So they were formerly product designers for Apple, which we all, that brand association, Apple makes really awesome products. And so we're taking that experience and we're going to apply it to our coffee machine. And because you know that they're Apple product designers, you know it's going to be beautiful, you know it's going to be dialed, you know it's going to be really good. You also know that they have manufacturing experience. So you know that it's going to be a beautiful product and that they have the experience to deliver it. Now, say you don't have either of those. You don't have, you don't have the undeniable clip. You don't have the, oh my gosh, I'm like tripping up a little bit. You don't have the occupational authority. You don't have the successful business. This is like your first thing. You're like going in here fresh. That's absolutely fine. In that situation, you need to tell your story. I know we talked about telling your why later. This is when you do it. You do it at the end when people are sold on your product and they're just wondering, can I trust you? That's when you tell your story. And now this doesn't necessarily prove that you can actually deliver, but it does make you human and show that you are vested and committed to the solution. So the way that we would structure the story is this. So the first step is that you become the problem solution. You encountered this problem. You were like the problem that they're struggling with as well. You're going through that, and then you're like, hey, I need to figure out a solution. You go into that. This is going to be your personal experience with it. This is your personal experience with the problem. You share that in your story. Then you go and talk about the long journey you went through to find solutions to that problem. Then after that, as you're going through it, hey, I tried this, I tried that, I tried all these different products. None of them worked, or they were too expensive. It had this issue, I decided to make it myself. This is where you talk about the committed actions you've taken to develop your product. So I made these prototypes, it iterated. This is what I did. I talked to manufacturers. I did all this stuff. I talked to so-and-so and so-and-so. I made these things in my garage. I took it there, I refined it. And now we have this product. I know this is my first time doing this, but you can see that I understand you. You can see that I went and did the homework, and you can see that I took the committed actions to make this a reality. I want this more than you do. So you can trust that I'm going to make this a reality. So what this does is, again, empathizes with their backers. It shows that you've done the work and you're demonstrating commitment through your story. So examples, LaunchBoom, showing manufacturing process, showing the testing, the taste testing, really dialing in, putting in a lot of work there. And then in this situation for Botany, talking about their history, like how did they come in? It's like, okay, we started off playing Magic and Battletech and all these games. We're gamers just like you. And we made this game ourselves. So then there's a little bit of trust there where we understand, oh, they're just like me. They understand games, they play games. I can trust that they can make a pretty decent game as well. Now, one last tip before we go into Q&A, make sure that your design is mobile friendly. A lot of your traffic will be mobile. Just make sure that when you design your page, check it on your phone as well, not just on your desktop. Make sure that all the text, all the headers are legible and easy to skim there as well. And that's it. That's a lot. I need to drink some water, but we can dive into Q&A. Thank you for listening to me talk for 30 minutes straight. All right, let's dive into some Q&A. So there should be like a Q&A section. If you guys have questions, let me go on through. Ooh. Oh, sorry. One last thing, references. If you guys need to screenshot these references, these are all the references of all the campaigns that I went.
Okay, thank you, Victor. Let's recap everything Victor said about what it means to create a campaign page that converts. We have to understand our backer. Who are they? Why are they interested in your game? And what aspects are most interesting? What objections might they have? All of these answers will inform your design and your copy. You have to show them the value. What's their why for wanting your game? And how can you address that first and clearly? Prove you can deliver. You're asking for money up front about the promise of a future game. Make it clear in your copy and your imagery that that promise is a good one. Okay, you made it through. As promised, I've linked a free audio copy of Crowdfunded below. That way you can learn more about converting backers with your page and how to get them there to start with. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on how to bring your game to life through crowdfunding. I can't wait to see what your campaign pages look like. If you already have one, link it below. I would love to see it, and maybe I can get one of our experts to share some comments on it.